Hello, hello. Hopefully you can hear me. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you are having a fabulous time in this weather, however it finds you. For those of us in Scotland, it's sunny, it's nice, but it's not catastrophically nice. For some of my friends further down south in the UK, I know you're going through a bit of a heat wave. I'm sorry, hang in there. The rain will be back soon, I'm sure. And for all my other friends all over the globe, I know a lot of Europe is seeing a big heat wave right now. For all my friends across the pond in the States, thank you for taking such good care of the Tartan Army that have semi-invaded the US at the moment. But tonight's going to be a football-free zone. If you want the football, it's not on until later. And to my Aussie friends as well, and basically wherever you're checking in from, hi, I hope you're well, and I hope the sun is shining on you in the method that you're enjoying it. Hi to everyone who's watching on Facebook or YouTube. Hi to everyone on Catch Up. And let's just get to it, all right? Because I know you would far rather see the crafting than listen to me waffle on. So tonight I'm going to be using the Framed Violets suite. So this is an online exclusive. And I am just going to double check that this isn't just a sneak peek and that it's actually live to everyone at the moment. I know I've shared it before when the box actually arrived. I did an unboxing because these products are gorgeous. But I am just double checking that it's actually available just now. It might not be available until July. Looking at it, yes, this is online exclusive that's available in July. So you've only got another week to wait. It'll be available Tuesday of next week. Tuesday of next week? Oh, might not even be Tuesday, might be Wednesday. But anyway, I'm going to craft with it anyway. And then once it becomes available, you'll be able to get first in queue to get your hands on it because it is gorgeous. So there is a stamp set and coordinating dies. The oval dies with a scallop are really versatile. And then there's some floral pieces here as well to go with the floral stamps. More florals, you say. Stampin' Up is going on a bit of a florals phase at the moment. There's lots of lovely florals. And these are violets. I've never seen them do violets before. I don't have a huge number of floral sets, but this one, I just loved the purples. You know, my favourite colours are probably in these kind of purpley bracket. So the colours in these papers, so Secret Sea, Hydrangea Hue, Fresh Freesia, Gorgeous Grape, Perfect Pine, and then I've got white to do a card base as well. And this is going to be, not going to lie, a little bit of a wing it Wednesday. I have an idea in my head of what I want to do, what I want to try, but I am in many ways just making this up as I go. So now I am going to start by scoring my A4 cards at 14.8 and then cutting at 10.5. So this is going to give me card blanks, my standard C6 card blanks, but either in this orientation or in that orientation. There's a method to the madness rather than just madness to the madness. I have a plan in mind. So let's have a look at the papers. Just remind ourselves what we're working with. And actually, these are specialty papers. So I'm very carefully going to separate the back two sheets, which are these pop-out pieces. They're both the same, 2 sheets this size. And they've got these beautiful pre-die cut pieces in the violets. So the Hydrangea Hue, the Freesia, the Gorgeous Grape. There's almost a bit of Highland Heather in there as well, but that's not one of the colours that they've included. Maybe it's Gorgeous Grape stamped off. Peaceful Pine for the green leaves. There's some outline pieces here as well, and then these frames, which are really gorgeous. I'm going to pop them carefully over to one side. And then let's look at the designer series paper. So I've done a run through of all these papers before. So I'm not going to do it all again just now. If you want to see that, please check out my previous videos. But for just now, I'm just going to have a quick look through at these pieces. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So there's 5 sheets of double-sided designs, 2 of each. And what I think I'm going to go for to begin with is this piece here. So let's take that. Oh, I also need my just basic white. Let me grab some of that. Had some for the card blank, for the card base, but I need some for general stamping as well. So let's just cut a piece of this. I do normally have like a stash of bits of basic white ready for stamping on. So let's just chop a sheet up into quarters and get going with that. So let's dig out these frames. Hey Ali, yes, it is my favourite colour. Let's... Am I going to start off with the frame or I'm going to start off with the flowers? Let's take the dies so that I can kind of see what I'm working on with this one. And it occurs to me that I can actually layer this up in different ways. Is that one solid stamp? It is. Right. Let's use this oval piece just to see where I'm going with on that. Will it cut out there? It will. And then let's use these stamps. Right. I am going to do this as a sending love card. I very sadly know a lot of people who are going through some unhappy health news at the moment. And so making a card for them to help them smile would be a good thing to do, I think. So let's start off with sending love. And yes, Ali, the colour has got to be my favourite. I'm gonna go for the Gorgeous Grape. Let's get the Peaceful Pine to go alongside it. And then I'm thinking Gorgeous Grape and Fresh Freesia to colour in the flowers. That's my Fresh Freesia. And this is my Gorgeous Grape. It's Highland Heather. Where are my Gorgeous Grape blends? Highland Heather as well. They are missing from the box there. I do not know where they've gone. Hey Karen, don't worry, you're not really late. Ali, I'm glad I'm not living in Bristol right now. Are you absolutely sweltering from the heat? Kind of sorry, not sorry. You know, it is a nice problem to have, let's face it. Ooh. Right. I'm thinking my way through this because I can't find my Gorgeous Grape blends. Right. We'll deal with that in a minute. Let's start off with the sentiment. And then we'll worry about colouring in the flowers in a minute. So, sending love. And so I'm using my die just to kind of position roughly where I want things to be. but I'm moving it out of the way so it doesn't get in the way. There's my scrub. Go. And then I'm going to use my Peaceful Pine to do the outline of these flowers. So Sending Love is going to be about there. Now you see, even as I do this, I only want the leaves to be in green, don't I? I want the flowers to be in purple. No, do you know what? Do the whole thing in green. It'll be fine. And I'm going to do that about there. There we go. So then you can see there, that's where I'm going to cut out my oval. Let's close that over. Close that one over as well. Why did Stampin' Up stop selling the Stampin' Scrub? Because they had a temporary leave of their senses, Ali. It's the only excuse I can think of. We do still sell the chamois, but the Stampin' Scrub still remains one of my favourite items. I don't know if they had just decided that everybody who was going to have one had one. There are many petitions for it to come back. I certainly will not part with mine, and I have quite a few of them as well. Ooh, just had a thought. But yes, for you're not the only one who is mourning the loss of the Stampin' Scrub. Okay, for colouring in the leaves, now I'm going to use my Peaceful Pine Glimmer brush. I haven't used this one before, and the reason that I know is because it's still got this white band here. So if/when you get the glimmer brushes, it does tell you in the instructions the first thing you need to do is remove this white ring, and that just goes in the bin. And then once you've got it, you screw this and you screw it all the way down, and you can see here the nib is still completely white because it hasn't been activated yet. Stampin' Scrub is the best. It absolutely is the best. So on this bit on the side, can you see it says push? So I'm going to push here, and it's going to release the colour. Push a couple of times. You can actually see the colour starting to go through. Let's do a little bit on the side here. Can see, oh, right, there you go. The ink's starting to come through onto the nib now. So let's put the lid on the other end, and let's make sure the nib is fully saturated. There we go. And then I can use my glimmer pen to colour this in. This is so shimmery. Honestly, it's like using coloured Wink of Stella. Let's just do a little bit on that bud as well. Don't know. Can you see the shimmer? Oh, I don't know if it's showing on camera properly. It is so shimmery in person. You're just going to have to take my word for it. But yeah, these glimmer brushes are just fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous. Going over it again just to make it a little darker. Because it was a brand new pen, you do kind of have to get them going, get them started. But once they've started, wowzers. There we go. Right, let's use, and I do want to use my gorgeous grape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up, actually, I've got an old Wink of Stella brush here. So what I'm going to do, so with my gorgeous grape, I'm just scribbling on a clear block here. Hi, Mum. Glad you're here. Shake it, you said, Ali. Yeah, that probably would have been a good idea. So I'm going to squeeze some of my Wink of Stella. This is such an old Wink of Stella brush. Do you know what? Let's just use it to pick up the gorgeous grape and use it to colour in my violets. Oh, so sparkly. Now, there is a very good chance that once I've done this, my Wink of Stella brush is going to be forever gorgeous grape. Personally, I see no problem in that. But it might not be the best thing to need a Wink of Stella in every single colour you want to do this with. So sparkly. Now, of course, remember, if you're not really into colouring, you can cut out the pieces from the designer series paper, give you the same effect. Right, can I kind of brush this off? Yeah, there we go. I've wiped that off. There's no gorgeous grape purpley shade left on that at all. So that's back to just being plain sparkles. That's handy. Let's just get a wee tissue on my clear block. Or you could have just used your Stampin' Scrub again. That would have been far more sensible. Yeah. So now I've got the shimmery on the violets as well as on the leaves. So now what I'm going to do is cut that out. Let's get my trusty cut and emboss machine. Is that a die sitting on my grid paper? This die, the oval one. Or was it something else that you were asking about, Mum? I had used this die at the start of the card to help me work out where exactly I was going to position things. There we go. So now I've got my Sending Love with my violets. Don't lose it. No, you're right. I have a fabulous magnetic tool that I can now use to make sure that I don't lose any of my dies. This was a wonderful gift from my wonderful mum, which I'm very grateful for. It's going to come in very handy when I'm at classes, but yes, so this was the gadget that my mum got me. And I shall put it there. And I have attached the die to it so I do not lose it. There we go. But for now, I'm going to use this other die, the larger one, and I'm going to cut this out of some gorgeous grape. Let's get a piece that's going to be the right size. Yep, that works. There's another plate. A mad rush from demonstrators to purchase the new toy. Now, Ali, what new toy would you be talking about? Don't answer that question. There is a new toy that is available at this point in time to Stampin' Up! Demonstrators only, and we're not technically supposed to talk about it. So I will not mention that mine is due to arrive tomorrow. And I'm not allowed to show it to anyone online. But I do have a team day coming up where some of my team will be coming round. And you never know, they do like to look around my craft room and see any goodies that I may have acquired. So, right. So that sits on the top there. Well done, Ali. But yes, to answer your question, yes, there has. Right. So now I've got this that's going to go on here. But what I want to do is I'm going to fold this over this way. Now, I'm sure I saw something clever, and it's just to see if I can figure out what it was. But for right now, I'm trying to figure out if there's a halfway point on this die. Has anybody worked out if this die is symmetrical or not? I think it is. You know how you can often find the midway point? I do not think that is the case here. Let's check against the stamp. Stamp appears pretty symmetrical. Maybe it's not. No, it's not. Right, this stamp and die are not symmetrical. There is a right way and a wrong way up. I have to say I find that a little bit frustrating. But I've got that round this way. So what I want to do is, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I was thinking about doing something really, really fancy, but actually I think sticking it on there and moving it over is going to be pretty enough. Hey Jean, don't worry, we never really worry too much about lateness on here. I am not particularly famous for my own timekeeping, so right, let's chop this down. Now, do we think we put the DSP straight onto the card blank, or should we have another layer? I'm wondering if this goes on here, or should I do a Peaceful Pine layer? Oops, daisy. Sorry for banging the camera. If I did a Peaceful Pine layer first, and then the designer series paper, does that make it stand out more? And then put this on the top. Let's do it with the layer, and then if we don't like the layer, we can take it back off again. So let's do this at, so I'm going to cut at 14.3 by 10, and in theory that should fit onto the center there, which it does. And then this one here, so again 14.3 by 10. Is that a yes to do it with the layer, Ali? Let's just quickly measure this. I folded this by eye rather than measuring it, but it should be about 7.4, yeah. So let's do this one, instead of 7.4, 6.9. And then that will fit on there like so. And that goes on there like that. Now let's use this. So if that one's 10 wide, this one's going to be 9.5. Sorry, I'll put this more on camera so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So 9.5. And then if we had 6.9, let's do 6.4 for that piece. So that will go on there. And then actually, this goes inside because I still want somewhere, I still need a bit that's going to be visible. So I'm going to do another one that's 6.4 rather than filling the whole space. Let's do 6.4 there. And then I also need, let's get my cardstock, yes, to the layer as well. Good, I am. I always like it when you lovely crafty people agree with what I am attempting to do, because it tells me I haven't gone completely crazy. Partially crazy, possibly. Oh, that was daft, Emma, because I could have used this piece. Let's use this piece. So this is cut at about 7.5. Let's do this by 9.5. And then my Peaceful Pine layer, I'm going to stick the basic white on first, and then my DSP piece is going to stick over there as well. Let's get my trusty Tombow out. There we go. Big fan of layers. There's something to be said for the simplicity of not using a layer, but adding a layer does give cards a certain something, I think. A certain je ne sais quoi, as the French would say. Oh. Right, so let's stick this piece onto the front of my card. Over here. And then this piece is going to stick inside. There we go. And so now this piece is going to go, let's put some foam pads on this to give it a bit of interest. Now, annoyingly, there is a ribbon to match this suite, and I am pretty sure I have it, but can I find it? Which is really annoying because this room is nowhere near as messy and untidy as it used to be. And I thought I had all of the items in this suite all together, but for some reason I don't. So I'm afraid if I did have the ribbon, then I would be adding some of it at this point. But I'm afraid it was not to be. But I am going to stick this flat here. So I'm just putting glue on one part of this shape, and then I am positioning it so that it is centered, like so. Now, what would have been wise would have been to do that before sticking down the bit with the foam pads. When you ladies do this sort of card, then remember to stick down the flat bit before you stick down the raised bit. But there we go. Sending love. What do we think? Do we like that? I think that is, if I say so myself, it's not too shabby a card, and I think somebody would enjoy that, and it stands up quite nicely. You thought I was going to say not nearly as messy as Mum's. I would never say such a thing online in public to other people. My mum brought me up in a fabulous crafty tradition, and I have a lot to thank her for. Now, we do need to finish off this card with some bling, and we have these absolutely stunningly gorgeous adhesive backed blooms. Aren't these just beautiful? So you've got the gorgeous grape, the fresh freesia, and then the white ones here, and they've got little diamantes in the center. They are just stunning. So I think putting one of the white ones on, because there's so much else going on with the paper, I don't want to overwhelm it. So I think just, actually it doesn't need to be one. I think it does need to be one, but maybe it needs to be a purple one. Sending love. You see the purple, is it closer to hydrangea hue? No, do you know what? Or do I put it down at the bottom? Put it at the top. There we go. Decision made. Oh, hey, Linda. There we go. So, sending love card using the layered violets, the framed violets. I think it's really quite pretty. So, that is our first card for this evening. Let's now go back to the papers. It's uncanny how often my starting point for the card starts with the papers. So this time, let's pop that over to one side. Still got my white card blank, but I'm wondering if doing something more hydrangea hue. This is one of my favourite in colours. The same colour as the stunning bag that we got on stage in Cologne at the start of the year. Right. And I think if I use this stripy piece of DSP as well, although you see, even as I look at this, I'm thinking if I go down hydrangea hue, as much as I love that I can see me using on a mail card, but I wouldn't put the florals. Actually, brilliant idea. Right, I am going to do a mail card, but I'm not going to do the violets. I am going to do this frame, and I think I'm going to do the sending love sentiment as well. Here's my thinking. Our lovely neighbours, we have a couple that lives next door to us that are just absolutely lovely. Unfortunately, the lady who lives next door to us has very recently ended up in hospital, and so she is still in hospital, but her husband is still at home next door. So I'm thinking I could hand in a card for her to say that we're thinking and praying for her, but I could also hand in a card to him, letting him know that we are here and available if there's anything he needs. So let's use probably this piece. Let me just have a quick look at the sending love fit into that small piece. It would. Would I send a sending love card to a next door neighbour? There's the take care. Actually, let me just have a very quick glance at some of our other sentiments, because sending love, I think, absolutely is right for our lovely lady, but something about encouragement or support. Thinking of you, you're on my mind. That could work. I'll have a quick look to see what else I've got. Yeah, at the moment I think that's probably sending best wishes for health and healing. Now that would be a good one to put inside the other card. And then I am here for you, maybe for the husband. Or just this one here for you, and then it kind of counts for both me and Tom. Right. Let's do a bloke card. Let's start with the card blank. So I am going to use my hydrangea hue. Ooh, is that card blank already? It's a card blank already. Happy days. Let's use a piece of this designer series paper to fit along the bottom. So I'm going to cut this. I'm going to do something I don't often do. I'm going to cover the whole bottom half of the card. A lot of the time when we use DSP for layers on cards, we cover the whole thing. We put a layer on with a little gap around the edge. But I'm thinking I might cover the whole bottom. Let's cut a piece that's 7.4. So that's about halfway the bottom of this card. So like that. That's what I'm thinking. And then, now, I know I showed you this stuff before. I'm going to use it on John's card. It is absolutely stunning. This, what's it called? Shimmering Stripes Specialty Designer Series paper. You get 4 sheets in the pack, and oh my goodness, the sparkles. It is so sparkly. I love this stuff. And I'm not going to use a huge amount. So if I have this in the center, if I have a bit, you know, I'm just going to do an inch long strip. Kind of using this instead of ribbon, just to give a highlight to the card. Let's do it at 10.5 centimeters. It is so shimmery, so pretty. Might put it overlap the top there. It's very pretty. And then this piece here. And then maybe just that up there. You know, I say I was using it like ribbon, but I've got ribbon as well. I'm going to add this on. What do we think? It's a masculine card, so I don't want to be too over the top. Maybe put that under there. That's quite pretty. See, even now I'm wondering, should that fill the whole bottom half, or should I leave it with a little bit of an edge? Fill the whole bottom, why not? And then this piece in the center, off to one side. Let me get my ink pad and I can stamp the sentiment while we're debating it. What do you think? Let's use the Here For You that Mum has recommended. Here For You, that Here For You is too big for the shape. So let's see if this one fits instead. Here For You. Yeah. Use ribbon to cover the join, but no bow. That is a good shout, Ali. I like that. So if we pop that there, that in the middle, like so. But then which join? The bottom join? I think the top one you'd lose it too much against the background. Do we even need the shimmery piece? The shimmery piece is very pretty. Is it not masculine enough? The problem is saying yes, that one is tricky when it's gone past the time. So you're looking at this on the bottom. Okay. And then have this on the top in the center. I actually think would be nice. Okay. Let's get my stamp here for you. There we go. Masculine stripes. They are masculine stripes. And not just because they're blue. Now, part of me is wondering about using the Hydrangea Hue Shimmer. I am just going to do it across the edge of this piece. Eyes are allowed a little bit of shimmer as well, aren't they? This actually goes on really beautifully with a brush tip, just going around this edge piece. There we go. Lovely. Can you see the shimmer on that one? Maybe slightly. I don't know why the shimmer pens aren't really showing up properly, but they are beautifully shimmery. All right. Okay, let's start to stick this down. Oh, we see, I like that piece of DSP as well. So let's slide it on. Tombow is very forgiving. It will let me slide it into place. Right. Now that's going to go there. I'm going to put this on first so that I can kind of tuck the edges round. Or am I? No, I'm just going to use tear tape right the way to the edge. You've not ordered the shimmer pens yet, Ali. Well, I like them. One thing I will say is if you're going to order the Scrapbook Retreat, it has the golden glow pen in it. So you don't order all 5 of the pens because one of them comes in the Scrapbooking Retreat. Something I wish I had known before I purchased mine. The other thing is if you're going to buy the Scrapbooking Retreat, it also has one of the white gel pens. So you don't need to order a separate one of those too, especially as they come in a pack of 2. So I now have more white gel pens than I perhaps know what to do with. We did have a lot of fun last month. We had like a scrapping day at mine. where people came with scrapping kits or got some of the ones that I had here. We put them together and we had the scrapping retreat showing on the TV screens. And it was good fun. Right. There we go. I thought for a second I'd done that all completely upside down. No, I haven't. And then this one here. Do you know what? Thinking of the white gel pens, I actually wonder if it might be a nice addition to use them here. That's not it. Let's go. Where are my white gel pens? Does anybody know where I hid them? I know they are still in the box for the retreat, so that might be one solution. And of course, the minute that I open these up, I will instantly spot the other ones, which are somewhere in my room. Just wondering. Now with the gel pens, you just need to kind of, it's not clean the nib off. You know how some of the gel pens have got little like covers over them so that they don't leak. So you just want to get it going, and then once it's going, you're fine. So I'm thinking, cap doesn't stay on. I'm thinking I might just do little, almost like fake stitching around the edge of this. I'm not being particularly precise. I thought about doing lines and dots. Don't want it to look too much like semaphore. That might give the wrong impression. There we go. What do you think? Kind of like fake stitching around. Never really got into scrapbooking. That's fair. It's not for everyone. I've not done much of it, but what I've done I've enjoyed. Right, important question. Do I also do the fake stitching along this bit, or do I just leave it top and left and right? Maybe I do it round the sentiment. Does it look unfinished because I haven't done it along there? Let's put some foam pads on the back of this while you tell me that yes, it actually does look unfinished. I need 3 of those. Right. Checking that that's dried. It has. Don't want to smudge it. Just leave it. Okay. And what about doing it around the sentiment? I think that could look pretty, help it stand out a bit. Okay, so one of you says leave it and one of you says add the stitching at the bottom. Anybody else want to weigh in? You can have the deciding vote. This is for a bloke's card, so I'm just worried that the top bit looks too plain. I don't know if it needs bling or maybe just little dots, or I could do little dots in white. Might look pretty. Is this a less is more type situation? Trim that bit on the inside while you lot are deliberating and cogitating. There's 2 votes for stitching. You can't be both of them though, Mum. My call on around the sentiment. I think I am going to add it around the sentiment. Yeah. Let's see how this goes. I think maybe once it's been done around the sentiment, it won't be needed along the bottom. Linda added a like. I can't see likes on comments. I can only see comments at the moment because it shows up in the app that I'm using. What do you think? I think the stitching around the sentiment works. Stitching at the bottom. Linda has now come and said it. Sorry, Ali, you're outvoted. Let's add this on. If it all goes horribly wrong, I have only myself to blame. It's one of these designs where actually it could go either way. I think without stitching looked pretty, but with stitching, I don't think it's ruined it. I think it still looks all right. What do we think? All right for a bloke's card? Cool. All right, those have been our 2 cards this evening then. So I have used the, not the Forever Florals, the layered violets. Where have they gone? Buried underneath a whole pile of stuff. The framed violets, stamps and dies, the matching designer series paper, the absolutely stunning shimmer, glimmer shimmer striped designer series paper, specialty designer series paper. I've used some hydrangea hue ribbon. I've used those gorgeous little embellishments and the white gel pen to add some stitching. You need something on the strip. Do we need something on the strip? It's very shimmery when you see it up close. Not sure if it does need something. Although let's see what I've got. Not the butterflies, but maybe the dots. Is that too much? I think adding the dots onto the strip could be too much, but I could do a dot onto the sentiment. Let's add a shimmer dot on there. Yeah, I think if I put the dots on there, it's going to be too much because the shimmer is very shimmery. But adding a dot just to the sentiment, I think just kind of lifts that. And better a dot than a butterfly if it's for a man. Okay, those are my 2 cards for this evening. I hope you have enjoyed them. Let me know in the comments if you've got any suggestions, recommendations, ways that you would have done it differently. This particular suite, this is a sneak peek. It's not available until July, unless you're a demonstrator, or if you want to become a demonstrator, you can get it earlier. So, oh hey Julie, I'm afraid we're just finishing. So I hope you enjoy the gorgeous weather that we have been having across the country. And if it's too hot for you, stay inside and craft. It's clearly the answer. All right. Take care, everyone. Happy crafting.